Okay, so today we have a lot to talk about, but as in our normal routine, hello paperweights, it is Paper Talk, and today is March 12th, 3:51 p.m. So today I am going to be talking about, drum roll please, the school system and defense attorneys, the two things that, if I became president, I would most likely change. Um, so we're just gonna start with the defense attorney. Um, okay, so I was watching this video, from this one guy. His name is Tyler Oliveira. Go check out his content where he was interviewing criminal defense attorneys, and I was thinking, no, no, no. Don't listen to me. I was thinking, but we're giving backstory right now. Okay, so basically, this one attorney, this one criminal defense attorney, he is great. Don't remember his name. Not great, great, but like he's good at doing his job great. So one day during their interview, not one, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. They were giving him an interview. One of the questions was, have you ever had someone say, like, I'm guilty, but I don't want to go to jail? And that's immediately where the gears in my head started turning because no. Um, no. I'm sorry. If I hear the words, I'm guilty, but I don't want to go to jail, you finna do the same thing out on the streets and it'll get you in trouble again. You can't keep using that same phrase with the same lawyer. It won't help you. It won't. Sorry. So, if I became president, I would change things up. I would be implementing the Truth and Accountability Reporting System, or TARS for short. TARS, it's the it aims to help be more transparent, hold accountability and fairness when it comes to being in the court and talking. Um it's it's basically where if you hear phrases from the prosecutor, or I forgot the term for the other person, let me look it up. Um Literally give me just a second. What's the term for the person getting prosecuted? Okay, the defendant. Um, if the prosecutor for the it will be working both ways for the prosecutor and the defendant, basically, where it's basically like a trigger word. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should not be yelling into the mic. Um, so when it comes to the defendant, if they say anything like I'm guilty, but it really depends on the severity of the sentence. If it's like, oh, I'm guilty, but I don't want to go to jail, that's implementing that you don't want to go to jail and you know you finna do the exact same thing out on the street. Um, but if the attorney hears that at any time, um, they must report this statement to the local authorities, or they must bring it up as against, no, they must give it to the prosecutor's attorney. And for the prosecutor side, if they're saying a keyword like, oh, I'm lying about, or I'm doing this because, once again, depends on the severity, um, that can get them reported too. Because that would be presenting false information, and that is illegal. That is going against your oath of the court by telling the truth and nothing but the truth. Um, so it's really a crime like type of thing. Like it also depends what crime. If it's like a serious crime like, oh, you just murdered someone on the street, you just did something absolutely vile, you will be reported immediately for saying something like that. But if it's like, oh, I stole a chocolate bar from the drugstore, I mean, I don't think it'll be like, I don't even think you would be in a situation. Actually, no, because if you were getting sued by the store, you could be talking to your attorney and be like, "Oh, well, I'm guilty, but I don't want to go to jail." Because, like, yeah, in that situation, you would be guilty, but that's why it depends on the crime. Um, um, hold up. See, for once, I'm being a good podcaster. Have everything written down. Um, okay, so if we're talking about a minor here, like a minor who's doing a crime or something, and they're too young to go to jail, your best second option, which would be okay, basically for minors, I'm sorry, I'm trying to gather my thoughts right now. For minors, you would have a rehabilitation process. Um where instead of going to jail, they would kind of just be there like in dorms, but less fun. And they would be there for however long their sentence is, and they get released. Boom. And then another thing to add, when it comes to the attorneys, they have to fill out a form. If they hear the keywords, which I'm not saying it again, um, uh, I will say it again. If they hear the keywords "I'm guilty but," or they hear anything like "oh, I'm lying about this or that," they have to have a paper with them, a paper that they fill out. And this is a very important paper, as it could also be, you know, altering the whole decision of the court and the jury and everything. So if it's like a false report, if it's like a minor false report, like you messed up a name or something, or like you didn't exactly get what they said like down, then I mean, it's okay. You might get a warning, maybe even a temporary suspension if it's like a somewhat big minor report. But like if it's a severe report, then that that could make you lose your job. That could make you lose your license. And yeah. Um false reports will not be forgiven. Any mistake that could cause significant legal trouble for someone will be made sure. Everybody will make sure that person is dealt with. That's all I gotta say. Um, Training requirements. So, legal professionals, your attorneys, your lawyers, must do a 4-week program. A 4-week program at the place they graduated from, at the college they graduated from to get their degree. They must go back to take this 4-week program where they have to put in 40 hours a week, where they basically learn all about the forms, they learn what to do, how to do it, they get practice in, and after they're done with the course, they get another certificate, and they go on to doing their normal jobs. Now the local authorities, or The local authorities or the government or anyone, not anyone, let me not say anyone, the government or the local authorities will set up these little fake scenarios where it also gives them the chance to fill it out but not being guided. So it would also show if, they're kind of ready for it. And after they complete that test, after that week, you know, they're they're good. They're good to go. Some good things that this could cause is, you know, it makes it a little bit more harder to manipulate the legal process. Like if you're so if the whole point is keeping dangerous people off the street by like suing them, like sending them to jail or something, like really with the major crimes, you can't get these people off the street by quite literally helping them. Like, I'm sorry, but it goes both ways. The fact that I'm not guilty, but what? No, you're guilty. You're going to jail. You're guilty. Um, some balances, some challenges and some considerations. Um, it would be like I could understand where it would be kind of an issue with client confidentiality, but that's exactly why it's like, oh, you only report with these keywords, so never mind. I don't see that. I could see where it's like, where if it wasn't implemented correctly, it could have some issues, but I'm just like not seeing where it could just be, horrible. Um, there will need to be some form of something, some safeguard in case this all goes bad. Do I know what that is yet? No. Give me notes app, let me sleep, and then let me wake up, and I will just write all this stuff down. And I got down a lot. Um, yeah, it's kind of it. So, TARS is supposed to make TARS is supposed to aim to make a balance between like client confidentiality and also ensuring accountability, which is something most people need. Because most of you have heard the saying, accountability is a tough pill to swallow for everyone. It's real dumb. Like, you can't. Most of the time, you can't, and that's why everybody feeds into everyone's delusions. That's why, because accountability is a hard pill to swallow. Um, and if you can't hold yourself accountable, that's all right. I mean, no one really can, but you should maybe practice it. Like, look at yourself in the mirror and said, "Yes, I did that." It's nothing to be ashamed of, though, because everybody does stupid stuff. Now move on with your day. It doesn't need to be a whole thing. Um. Okay. And then the next topic is flex. Not. No. 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 Redesigning the school system. I need to stop yelling. I need to stop yelling. So, we're going to start with flexible school days. Students, specifically grades 6 and up, which is middle school and beyond, can choose their school days through an online portal, which they can activate through the parent portal or their school Gmail. Um, Students must notify the school at least 1 hour before school starts. Otherwise, there's a chance that their privileges of having flexible school days could be suspended. Because having flexible school days in this scenario would be a privilege. Like, you're not entitled to it, it's a privilege. So, if you can't follow through with the rules, you just can't follow through with the rules, and we're not going to give you a second and third time to not go through with the rules. Um, so it's 1 through 5th grade is going to be, I mean, 1st through 5th grade is going to be exactly like it is now. Not exactly like it is now, but it's going to be like, I don't know. It's up to the parents. That's what I mean. It's literally up to the parents. You, like, I understand 6th, 7th, 8th, and high schoolers and stuff, their frontal lobe isn't developed yet, but it has some sense of common sense that I'm afraid 1 through 5th graders somewhat lack. Just a little bit. Just a very tiny bit. Um, School will be starting at 10 a.m. Yes, you heard me, 10 a.m. It will be from 10 to 3, a 5-hour school day. Each class will be 30 minutes long. Just that's it. I don't understand the whole, oh, sit down and learn a topic for an hour, because I don't learn like that. I'm sorry. I can't sit down and listen to a lecture based class and at the same time I do not want to be handed a worksheet if that is the only thing you give us. If it's like a mix of both, like interactive learning and then also worksheets and something else, like, okay, I'm okay with that. But if you're just gonna sit down, barely try at your job, and then just give us a worksheet and send us on our way, I'm not. No. So I'm not even going to give you enough time to do that. Each class is only 30 minutes long. So that means whatever you got to do and literally keep it pushing. For some of you who don't know, currently students have the average time is 4 minutes for a transition period. That's mostly 4 minutes. And we finna keep that because if each class is 30 minutes, 4 minutes in between will be just fine. Especially, that really depends on the school. So it's really irrelevant. What I was about to say was, the school that I was thinking of in my head, there's 3 floors, and the third floor is literally meant for lockers. So if you go up there, you should have enough time. But it really depends on how the school want to remodel, and we will get into that in literally a couple minutes. Um, uh, okay. So no matter the school, it has to serve breakfast and it has to serve lunch. Um, and there will be a whole group. Okay, so here's how it's going to go. There's going to be lots of teams, groups of professionals in schools. Many groups, big groups of professionals. Now, if we're talking about Montessori schools or any other schools where it's like, oh, there's a shorter amount of people, I mean, staff doesn't have to be as big. But when it comes to like private schools, public schools, stuff like that, they're going to have a lot of staff. It's mandatory. Um, but anywho, a group of nutritionists will help the chefs create delectable meals that are actually edible and not just slop thrown on a plate and handed to us. We will have a thing called extended recess where we will do a survey on nap time so we could see if the younger students like it or not. If the younger students don't seem to like it, which I do not think they do, then middle schoolers and high schoolers will, and beyond college grades too, will get these things called extended recess. It's after your outdoor activities after recess, you literally go to the gym. You just go to the gym, lights are off, air conditioner is on. You don't have to do anything. You can scroll through your phone. You can take a nap. You can talk. And it is the same time as nap times, which let me look that up. Let me look that up. How long is nap time? And okay, so it's usually about 30 minutes. So in some preschools might be around an hour. Um So yeah, we should leave it at 30 minutes like the rest of the day, but that would mean lunch and recess would have to be like 20 minutes. Okay, so I haven't thought about how the school day would go, but if I were the president, that would not be up to me. That would not be up to me. That would be up to the teacher schedules and how the principal wants it. Whatever. Um, Extended recess, they can do whatever they want. Yes. Doesn't really matter. You can leave campus if you're a middle schooler, high schooler. We will get into that too. Yes, I've thought of everything. Um, they can leave campus with an adult, obviously. Going back to the topic of flexible school days, when it comes to state testing, you are required to be there. Um, I mean, like, you can't use your when it comes to state testing, you can't like use your um like flexible school days to do anything on that day. Like, you have to show up. You just have to. Um, and when it's like any other type of testing, then you don't have to show up, but you should be prepared for everything, really. And to make the flexible school days make more sense, I'm just going to lay down some ground rules. You can only be gone for 1 week at a time. And you can leave one day, be there the next day, leave the other day. That doesn't matter, but be prepared to miss stuff. Really be prepared to miss stuff. How it would go is every day for around however long your morning meeting is, if it's from like, I don't know, 10 to 10:15 or so, you got 15 minutes to talk to your personalized guidance counselor. And we will get into smart rooms. It will all make sense, but I'm just going to call them smart classrooms. They're literally the next topic. But there will be these smart classrooms where, actually no, I'll just say it now because it'll make sense now. There are these smart classrooms that have cameras in them so they could record what the teacher is teaching about for the day, and that's it. Doesn't record students, doesn't do anything else. The teacher must have a mic on them, kind of like the one I'm using now. Funny. um and they talk through that, and that is what the smart classroom is. So when you come back to school and you talk to the guidance counselor every morning, they'll give you the videos of whatever class you miss, and they'll give you the homework packets of whatever class you miss. The teacher will send the video over and packets over. The guidance counselor will hand you the packets and email you the video so you can watch it on your own time, most likely outside of school or during the class period if the teacher allows you to. But yeah, and even though I know this video might not blow up, I can already hear comments like, "Oh, you know, like, what about their work? What about their work?" Once again, this is a luxury. You don't have to have it. So, if you can't do it in a way where like you can manage your work at the same time, then I honestly do not know what you expect. Because everything comes at a cost. Okay, most important thing, school cleaning and maintenance. Um, each school, okay, so say you have a school that has many different buildings scattered around one plat of land. And those buildings are different classrooms, could be a lunchroom that you walk across the parking lot for. There will be one huge team of janitors in the school. Those team of janitors will divide evenly and then go to each place and clean. All the classrooms, lunch areas, and everything will be wiped down when, when the students leave for the day in the morning as well. When it comes to the teachers' rooms, Their rooms will be clean surfaces, doorknobs, everything like that. But it's kind of up to them to straighten up their desk and papers and stuff. Um, Bathrooms and common areas will get cleaned and sanitized daily. Um, Vacuum. They will be vacuuming each classroom and common area every afternoon after the students leave. Um, and we're just gonna get into the stuff that could get the school legally in trouble. If your students are in a basement, if they're eating in a basement, they're eating in a storage room, if they're learning in a storage room, you can, and most likely, 9 out of 10 chances, will get sued for negligence. You will. Because let's be honest, who wants to learn in a basement? Let's just think about it. Most basements, yes, they might have windows, but you can't use the windows. You can't open the windows because guess what? They're underground. So, say if a fire goes down or something, the door is too hot to leave because if a fire's trapping you in, what do you think is going to happen to the double-sided door handle? It's going to be hot. And no windows, so you can't climb through that. So what are you going to do? Burn up? I think you will. So you can and will get sued if you are put in a basement. Um, when it comes to teachers, no, we're not done. We're not done. Also for schools, they will be bulldozed, cut down, broken down over summer break. They're getting remodeled, right? They're all getting remodeled, and they're all getting remodeled. Basically, they're gonna get put down over the summer, then literally just all get remodeled. And okay, so literally they'll just be rebuilt. We'll get into that later because that's later thing. I just wanted to tell about the demolization now. When it comes to teacher policies, they receive a full paid summer vacation, and all the other breaks that the students get. The last month of the school year, which is May in most places, um, is literally supposed to be dedicated for the teachers to prepare curriculum for the next year and stuff like that. If you fail to do it, don't try to do it over summer break because you will and cannot be able to get in the school. Your key fob will not work. Um, all curriculum will be sent and reviewed by the principal. Yeah. I just feel like sometimes teachers be talking, but they don't know what they're talking about. And if they could have, help by a fellow teacher, that would make things a little easier. Um, Teachers are not paid off of hour. Teachers are paid off of how many days they are there. Also, once again, going back to the flexible school hours, if a majority of their class isn't there, they have the option to cancel the class. But anywho, if they are not getting paid by the hour. They are getting paid by how many days they show up, and each day they are there gets them up to $100 to $150 per day, depending on the school's overall budget. Um, School closures is the next topic. When any part of the school closes, they have to wait. They have to close the enrollment. No one can join that grade. No one can do nothing. But the people in the grade has to finish it out. They don't have to. They can leave the school, obviously. But if they want to, they could finish out the year there or how many years they are there. Like if you're joining middle school, they'll stop the enrollment and wait till everybody's rolled out, graduation is done, boom. Then you can fully close it. But what you are not going to do is kick out a bunch of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. No, 6th and 7th graders. 7th, 8th graders are already leaving. Let me not. Um, when it comes to teachers, once again, the principal will observe the classroom. There's gonna be hopefully no signs of favoritism or unfair treatment, but that's already a rule. I feel like all school faculties must be updated with the latest technology. When it comes to windows, they cannot be barred or barricaded. They can be locked, they can be shut, they can be open. They cannot have stuff over it though. Like you can obviously put papers and stuff over it if you really want to, like for decoration, obviously. But like if you are barring the window shut, this is not a jail. Why are we treating the children that we're supposed to be teaching and supposed to be our future like inmates? Because that just makes everyone wants to get rid of school. You do realize that would, make you out of a job, right? Any teachers that are watching. um any peeling paint or maintenance issues, specifically peeling paint, because as soon as paint starts to peel, it goes everywhere, absolutely everywhere. But any maintenance issues must be addressed immediately, or once again, they can get sued for negligence. Bathrooms must have a bidet. Oh shit. Bathrooms must have a bidet. Yeah. Schools have these things called rage rooms. I know most of you guys have seen rage rooms. Basically, every teacher has 3 key cards. If a student is freaking out, they will have a team of therapists slash guidance counselors waiting in the room, plus the second in command vice principal. They'll send the student to the room with the key card, and as soon as the student goes into the rage room, the door shuts behind them and it can't be opened from the inside unless the vice principal or one of the staff members opens it from the inside, of course, or out, doesn't matter. Um, the student will talk to the guidance counselor, plural, and the second in command vice principal will take notes. Yes, there will be 2 vice principals. The second in command vice principal will take notes and report back to the main principal so they could come up with the fitting punishment for the student. Um, when it comes to dress code, that's really up to the school, but please don't go crazy. Like, what are you talking about? You're banning headbands. I don't think a headband is going to hurt you. You're just mad because you can't pull one off. Um, Students are to leave the campus during breaks, but there is going to be, once again, a team of adults literally meant to be like bodyguards to go out with these adults. They're basically like undercover cops, just without the uniforms, where they go out with these kids and they're basically like their bodyguards. But you can only leave at lunch, recess, and extended recess. When it comes to phone policies, all phones must be put away in book bags. You cannot use it during your class. You can, however, use it during lunchtime, free times, and any other stuff, or if you have teacher permission, obviously. Um, Students with emergencies or disabilities can keep their phone on them. Please do not put that stuff on Do Not Disturb. Yes, you heard me right. Don't put it on Do Not Disturb. If you have some form of emergency, just put that thing on vibrate. I don't want you missing nothing because your phone is on Do Not Disturb. Lockers will be mandatorily put on different floors. So when phones are left, they can't be easily accessed. Like you have to leave the classroom and walk all the way upstairs. And I know most of you guys have heard of Yondr pouches. You know, the pouches that are so expensive they're making schools literally not afford students' lunches anymore. Yeah, those are getting banned in the USA. I will ban them if I'm president. I will bring about a new scholarship where the most expensive public school in the area will help you pay for your scholarship. Students must apply and provide documentation of their like lifestyle, parents' pay, and things like that. The student doesn't have to turn that in; the parent does. Um, let's not leave out Montessori schools and the other schools because I brought them up earlier. Montessori schools, yeah, they must implement all of this as well. They can keep their style of learning very free, not yeah free. The students are in control, learning guides and all that. The Montessori schools can keep that way of learning, but they gotta get updated. They really do. Um, and that is it. I have talked at you longer than I normally have. Has been 30 34 minutes, literally coming up on the 35 mark. It's been 35 minutes. And I ain't got nothing more to say other than thank you for listening on my very long spew, which was way different than my 16-minute video yesterday. But anyways, goodbye, paperweights, and see you in the next cast.